Hey sleepyheads, welcome back to another episode of Bed by 9. Thanks for tuning in. Full disclosure, I've been super unmotivated to edit the podcast over the past week or so, but hey, that's my truth and I'm standing in it. Anyhow, in this episode, Hev and I discuss Netflix's I Care a Lot and Amazon Prime's Coming to America. Enjoy!
What's the joke?
Remember that time I got the...
Which time?
Maybe the second, or maybe the third. I don't think I knew you for the first.
Thank God. Yeah. All right.
Never gave you one, so that's good.
No, you didn't.
You're one of the lucky ones.
All right. Great intro.
Sexually promiscuous. I won't be shamed.
Welcome to another episode of Bed by 9. I am your host, Hev.
And I'm K. Willie, the great, the funny, the adorable, the infested.
That's definitely true. That is the honest truth.
Hi guys, missed you. My back is real sweaty.
Yeah, it is.
And so is my Gucceria.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Welcome to another episode of Bed by 9.
I feel like half of my face is going to be sunburned by the end of this day.
It will be. So we a little bit earlier, we did our TV show episode. And now we are going to finish up with our movie episode.
If you haven't noticed, we have a lot of time on our hands.
Oh, yeah, definitely we do. We both have full-time jobs.
Yep.
Partners.
Yep.
And we still find time to spend 40 hours a week watching TV shows.
Yeah, and we both play a sport/workout.
Yes. I mainly eat, but yeah.
That's a sport. Competitive eating. It's
the-
on ESPN 7 or
That's true.
one of the numbers.
And the only competition I am in right now is with diabetes. So, just trying to beat that out.
ESPN Comida.
All right. Excuse me. So, in our movie episode today, we have two movies. Will You Always Be My Baby and Coming to
Baby
America.
Driver. Will you always be my baby driver?
Will You Always Be My Baby Driver and Coming to America. No, it's I Care a Lot and Coming to America.
Basically, we have a white movie and a black movie.
Yeah, and
There was no black people in I Care a Lot, was there?
only the old black woman that was on the wall that was like, oh, this is one of your wards, and it was just a bunch of photos.
Who likes motorcycles?
The mics do.
That was fun.
The mics do. That's what they picked.
I'm not even gonna even try to edit it out.
So,
Sorry, guys.
and the other black people in I Care a Lot were the wards, the people who work there.
Oh, yeah.
So I say we start with that movie first.
Sure.
I Care a Lot.
Netflix.
It was about a woman who should have been punished. The end. That's the whole movie. It's a woman who is what was her correct title?
I'm looking it up. It's a legal guardian.
Legal guardian.
Yeah.
So she has control over people when they no longer have control over themselves.
Yeah. She
And
gets court appointed.
Yes, and she used this ability to gain access to old people.
Yep.
And
Their finances.
their
Their houses.
and everything like that.
All their wealth, basically.
Yes. And that is the general idea of the movie. Until she comes across someone who's seemingly an easy mark, and it's not an easy mark.
A cherry, I believe is what they called it.
Yeah, a cherry.
Is the legal the term that they use. So it offers you a glimpse into the crooked sect of the healthcare system of
Because that shit's definitely going on now.
court-appointed guardianship
Yep.
where like a doctor basically says like, oh, this patient isn't of sound mind and can't make logical decisions for themselves. They don't have any relatives or anyone that can help them in this situation. So we are going to appoint a legal guardian who will then basically control their lives until they die.
So,
And you just know this shit goes on.
yeah.
And I think it takes it to the uttermost extreme.
Uttermost. I agree.
But something that doesn't seem very far-fetched to be. I mean, the plot line was far-fetched as far as like what was going on, but like the actions that she would take as her legal guardian didn't seem far-fetched.
No, not at all. So the movie starts off with her basically acting the whole process out over one of her marks or her ward members. And this gentleman comes to see his grandma, and he's restricted to do so, and he flips out. He basically causes a ruckus inside the home or the facility, and then he's restrained. Police get called, and then the next scene they're in court, and he's just thrown he's like, this woman won't allow me to see my mom. He sold her home. He has done all of this for profit, and she did this, that, and the other. And she's like, and then she got a chance to respond. She's like, yeah, I did all that because I needed to pay for her housing, and I need to get paid as well because that's my job. And she basically turned it on him to be like, you were a bad son. We reached out to you, and you didn't do anything, and isn't that right?
And the last time that you showed up at the facility, you assaulted like 3 security guards, like basically flipping the script.
Oh God, it was beautiful, and that's how the movie starts off with. And then you go, and
then he's pissed because he doesn't win, and he approaches her outside the courthouse.
Oh yeah,
and is like, you're a bitch, you're the worst. I hope you get raped. Like, just lays into her. And then she's basically like, your dick's small and you're never going to see your mom or grandma ever again.
Right.
Like, I'm going to make it so you will never. But I'll give you her best.
Right. And then
I'll
he
give her
spits
your
on her.
best. Yeah.
And then she threatens, and then it's great. It is a very, like, feminist moment, but for the wrong thing.
Right.
And she was like, as a man, you think you're just going to be better than me because you're a man?
Right.
I'm like, you're doing evil stuff, woman. But, yeah, that's how it starts. And then it turns with, she goes back to the office. She gets notified that there is a cherry.
But before we get into that, when she gets to her office, she walks in and she just has this wall of all her clients.
They're called wards.
And she has like, just like an actor's screenshot of, headshot of all these people. And there's like 50, 60 people on this wall. And I mean, this woman makes bank. Like, she makes good money.
Has to. Dude, it was just so intense. And then...
So what's a cherry, Hev?
A cherry is...
something that I haven't popped. In the context of this movie, what is
a
it?
cherry is a person with no ties whatsoever. Meaningly, you can do whatever they want, and you just have to manipulate the situation as you will please.
And has a shit ton of money.
So it's an old lady. It's Judi Dench.
It's the it's the perfect concoction of of someone that like has a shit ton of money, no contacts,
old.
Just has memory loss, but is expected to live a long time where you can just deplete their assets over a really long time. And it is Jennifer Peters.
Okay, so it's Judi Dench.
Or sorry, Diane Wiest is Jennifer is her character name.
It's Judi Dench. So it's it's her. She gets called like, I have this amazing client, and she's like, okay, let's get this set up. So she meets the doctor, and immediately the manipulation starts, right? Yep. The doctor was like,
I have this cherry,
but you're going to need to sweeten the pot. I'm going to need you to give me some, what was it, stock?
Yeah.
I'm gonna need some stock in this company for me to give this over to you.
I think it was of the retirement home. I want to say
stock of
that they
something
send
like,
all the people to.
And I'm just like, ugh, disgusting.
And it wasn't much. It was like what 2% stock or something.
Yeah,
like
but that's still thousands
still,
of dollars.
oh yeah, every month residual.
Fucking God. So that it was that, and then the whole kind of chaos started. The next scene.
My favorite line from that scene though was like she asks for her profile. Can we get a copy of all this? And she's like, everything but the medical records. That would be unethical.
Like, you're just selling me a human being. And like, oh yeah.
And you're like,
of
oh
course.
my God. Okay,
I
sure.
remember that. That one of the top. Yeah.
HIPAA can't cross.
Oh
those
my God, can't cross
borders.
those lines. We're gonna basically murder this woman for profit.
Yeah.
But also, so in the beginning of the scene, right? It was so they didn't know that she had a cherry off the bat. It was more lines as like, it's like. She was like, "Do you have any like trouble people?" Or
yeah, it was like their monthly meetup.
Yeah,
it was like a monthly Zoom call.
Yeah,
that they're just checking in, seeing, hey, can you give me anyone that I can make money off of? Yeah, basically.
Okay.
And then she's like, I got this cherry.
Yeah. Okay.
Here we are.
And then the next scene was the court scene.
Yes.
And the court scene, it was an emergency court hearing. So in those cases, the client, the woman that was about to get her life turned upside down, was not needed to be there.
Yeah, they don't get notified. It's such a dire situation.
It's such a dire situation
that you have to
can't control herself. So basically, the doctor gets called to the stand, says this woman is in dire need. She
all based off of memory loss.
Yeah,
she's
memory loss.
She's shown sides of memory loss.
Yeah, and she needs a court-appointed guardian. And the judge was like, "Oh my God, you seem like two trustworthy people. Yeah, rule in favor."
Yeah, Rosamund Pike, who's the legal guardian, she goes, I guess I can squeeze her in if that is what is really needed here. Like taking the side, like, yeah, it's gonna be a burden for me, but God. It's for the people. All
you see was cha-ching signs behind her eyes.
Yeah. Just fucking $ as her pupils.
So, and then they go to her house, and what happened?
She knocks on the door, Rosamund Pike, and she's, the lady answers, and she's basically like, hey, like, who are you? And she's like, oh, well, we just had a hearing at the court. I'm your legal guardian. And she's like, what? Like, what's that mean? Why wasn't I notified? And she is like, it's because you can't take care of yourself. So I need you to come with me. We're going to bring you to this facility, and then I'm basically going to control your life now. And she's just like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, you didn't call my lawyer. You didn't call me. And she's like, yeah, it was just such a dire situation. Like, we just had to do this immediately. And this is at your doctor's discretion. They said that you needed this. And so they literally just ripped this lady out of her house and then immediately put, like, everything up for auction. Like, she has like all these what are those eggs called?
Fabergé?
Yeah, she has like 10 Fabergé eggs that they're selling, like these old dead, like this lady's, she makes bank.
Yeah.
And they put her house is owned free and clear. Yep. And it's like a multi-million-dollar home, right?
Yeah. So just like your house, pretty much.
It's nowhere close to free and clear. We're about 30% there.
Hey. Pew pew pew.
And yeah, she gets a hold of all of her finances, her retirement account. She gets to put her house up for sale, everything in her thing. And it's basically like, oh, I'm going to cash in on all of this, put her in a really nice room, and basically in this, retirement home, and basically just forget about her.
Well, it's a controlled situation, though, because she gets drugged and manipulated. Well, not drugged. She gets her phone taken away from her, but she's told that she can use her phone anytime she wants, which is not the case.
Right. She has to ask for permission.
Yeah. So it's not that it's forgotten about. It's a manipulated situation to control your client. It's
sad.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, holy shit. Like, that sucks.
Yeah, it does.
I guess, like, I need to start harboring better friendships because the way that I'm going to be ending up this one. I won't have as much money as she has, but
Because you have double currently.
Yeah. And then the fun part is come to find out.
Well, you have to do the bank scene and then the cab scene.
What's the bank scene?
So when she's getting a hold of all of her assets, she goes to the bank. She has a security deposit box.
She finds a key
finds
in
a
her
key.
desk
Yeah.
underneath a drawer or something like that.
It's
She's
very,
like a bank.
stereotypical. And then
Bank.
it went to a bank, safety deposit box, open the safety deposit box, and a book. It's a hollow book. Open it up. There's a bag. In the bag, there's diamonds. And of course there's diamonds, because why wouldn't there be
Blood
diamonds,
diamonds,
you guys?
baby.
Definitely blood. So then, the scene after, they go back, they cut to the house. The house is currently being remodeled.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing inside the house. Nothing. Except people working, and then, we forgot to mention her lesbian partner. The whole time.
She's got a lesbian partner.
She has a lesbian partner.
Not the old lady.
Not the old
Rosamund Pike.
Rosamund Pike. In the house, a cab pulls up. The guy gets out of the car, walks to the door, and it's like, is the owner of the house in? And then the other one is like, nope, she moved. And he's like,
Okay.
huh. No, he looked really shocked, like,
Interesting.
huh,
Yeah.
interesting.
And then he just leaves. He's
Yeah,
like, okay.
and then he was like,
thanks.
no, he asked another question, I can't remember what, but it wasn't like, where's she at? But he was like, I think he asked when. And then she was like, oh, just a few weeks ago. And then he was like,
Interesting.
huh, okay, I'm leaving. And then the woman chased him, was like, who are you from? Who called you? And he just ran away. And then I'm like, oh, it's about to get interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then he pulls off into a parking garage where the Games of Thrones midget,
Peter Dinklage.
Was there waiting.
The Game of Thrones midget.
I'm drunk.
Yeah.
He was there waiting.
Yeah.
And apparently he
With a smoothie. No, and then a Claire or like some French desserts.
And he is a boss.
Yeah.
A boss of what?
Well, you come to find out,
come
like
to
a
find
Russian mafia. Basically.
Yeah, Russian mafia boss. And he was like, where is she? And he was like, she was there. Her house was packed up and she was gone.
Yeah, he's like, good.
There was just
Good
people
question. I don't know.
Yeah. He's like, and you didn't think to ask? I mean, no. I was there and I was just, I don't know. And then in stereotypical fashion, he threatened the man's life and was like, you have X amount of days to find out where she is.
And at this time, you don't know he's a Russian mafia, but like
You know
he
has
flexed
power.
his muscle.
Yeah. His very small, tiny muscles.
But hey, you know what? They do work.
Hey, if they pay the bills, you know what I mean?
So at this point, you're like, okay, something's going on here. He obviously
Took
has
my
a
cup.
connection to this old woman.
Yep.
I don't know what this connection is, but they had a set appointment every year at the same date, same time.
Same time.
And she wasn't there for it. And you didn't ask the right questions to find out where she's at. So now he has some follow-up investigatory work to try to find out where the fuck she is.
Yep.
So then he finds out that she's in this nursing home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he tells his boss, Peter Dinklage, and then he's like, "Well, go get her." And so they try to basically stage an escape for her.
No. They did it the legal way first with the
lawyer.
With the lawyer. They got a lawyer.
What's his name from the Mindy Project? Danny Castellano, I think.
Sure, let's go with that.
That's his character name in the Mindy Project.
Oh, okay.
Just look right there. We'll post. No, right here. He'll be right here.
Sure. So, that
This drink is good.
So, he showed up, and he is a basically crime boss attorney.
Yeah.
And he shows up to
that would be a fun job.
No, it wouldn't, because you could get murdered like the rest of them.
I can get murdered in my current job.
That's true. So, because you're a mob boss, hence the mansion. So he shows up to, what's her name? Office?
Rosamund Pike.
Rosamund Pike.
I mean, that's her actor name. That's her real name. I forget what her
She shows
name
up to his office, and he's like...
The legal guardian.
Yeah, the legal guardian's office. And he's like, I love what you do here, but you got to let her go.
And then she takes one giant puff from her vape pen.
And then she's like, no, I'm not going to do it. And he's like, okay.
Tries to flex some muscle.
He tried to flex some muscle, and then she's like,
Pow.
still no. I have men like you all the time thinking they can get away. And I'm like, oh my God, we get it. You're a woman. You're strong. And then he's like, okay, I'll offer you $100,000. And she's like, no. And then he's like, do you not know what's going on?
What was her counter, though? Like $5 million?
Yeah, but first it was like, you not know who this is. And she was like, I don't. But the fact that you came in here with money means that you have so much more you can offer.
Right.
So my counter is $5 million. He's like, no, I've authorized to go up to $300,000. And she's like, cool.
Cool, $5 million.
Cool. And he's like, okay, well, just know your bones are going to be broken. And she's like, cool, see you later.
Bye.
And then he takes her to court. And in court, she manipulates it again to be like, because right now, the woman, she's still in the home. She's had no contact with anyone, and she's made sure of that.
Yep.
So the whole time where they're in court and they're in front of each other, the other lawyer's making really good statements. And the only thing she has to bring up is like, so she reached out to you and contacted you to be her attorney? And he's like, no.
So you're not her current attorney.
Yeah, he's like, no, but other interested parties have entered it.
Right.
And then he's like, which parties? I'm not at liberty to say. And the judge was like, well, when those parties are interested in showing up, then we can have this meeting.
Right.
She won again.
The dumbest judge ever.
She won again. Ugh. I hated it.
Yeah.
So then,
I mean, like, every scene, your hatred for her grows, but so does, like, just the respect of being able to fucking just do what she does and manipulate every situation. You're like, well, she's good at what she fucking... It's almost like a Cersei Lannister in Game of Thrones, where you're just like, fuck, she's just one step ahead all the time.
So then they show the scene of him throwing the shake at the dude in his office. The small guy throws it at the lawyer.
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage. And it was like, you have to get her out. And I think this is the scene where you find out that it's his mom.
Yeah.
And then once you find out that it's his mom that's in there, it's like, oh crap, what's all this going on?
Right.
And then she goes to the home to figure out who the fuck came into my office, who knows that you're here. And then the woman's all drugged up. The old lady's all drugged up.
Yeah, she increases her medication.
Well, before that, they have that conversation where it's like, who came in my office? And she's like, I don't know. Can I have my phone? She's like, you can't have your phone until you talk to me.
Right.
And she's like, who came to your office? A lawyer. And then she was like,
oh, you fucked with the wrong person.
She said like,
because she's like, what day is it?
Yeah.
And then she was like, oh, last Tuesday was the 8th.
Expensive? He's like, oh, you fucked with the wrong person
now.
now.
She's like, he's coming to get you. And she's
just
just
like,
doped
who's
up.
coming to get me? And she's like, give me my phone. And it was just
and then she basically goes to the person that heads up the whole facility, and she's like, increase her meds to this, don't let her sleep, put her on like the most intense workout regimen
and the lowest meal plan, like just oatmeal and nothing good.
Because that was that the scene where she like basically choked her out?
No, that was later. That was later.
Okay. That's when she did that.
No.
I thought.
No. That was that scene.
Oh, okay.
So she was like, you don't know who you're fucking with. And she was like, give me my phone. And then she just walked away. And she was like, lower this, lower this, lower that.
And make her run 18 miles a day.
Yeah, pretty much. And then the next scene, they try to stage the breakout.
Right.
You explain the breakout to us. Go ahead.
So they show up, the cab driver and another henchman, basically.
Two henchmen.
Okay. And then they're basically like, oh, yeah, can we get a tour of your facility? Like, we want to put our mom here or something of the sort. Basically, like, just show us the fucking facility. And so we have an appointment with the director. So the director comes out, and he's like, oh, yeah, let me show you the facility. So they start, like, walking around everywhere. And obviously their ultimate goal is to find old lady and break her out. And so they end up, do they have him at gunpoint?
No, they stop, and there's like, oh, this is in the tour. And he's like, well, we know someone here. Can we see them?
Oh, can we say hi? Yeah.
And then they say the name, and he's like, I need to talk to the legal appoint guardian. He's like, no, there's no need for that. And he's like, no, but I got it. Stun gun.
Right.
And then they're like, then they just start running amok of the place.
Just trying to find her.
Yeah. So
they end up finding her.
And then they start.
Try sneaking her out, and then of
There's a
course
firefight.
at the very end, she gets out of the facility and she's like running to.
Walking. It was a fast.
Well,
walk.
she was trying. She's been running 18 miles a day.
That's true.
Her legs are sore.
Yeah, definitely.
She's trying to Usain Bolt as much as she can to the Escalade that's in the parking lot where Peter Dinklage is.
Where everyone can see, by the way.
And she just can't make it. The people that work at the facility home get her.
So, but also when he was about to get broken out, so as soon as like they stun gun the boss, right? Someone saw, they raised alarm, they called the legal guardian. She hits the phone, she drives to the facility. And so like when they were getting out, right? She was like, "Hey," and he was like, "Huh?" And then she hit him, and he fell down, lost the gun, and the mom ran off towards an Escalade.
She tried,
and then like she was hustling, and
every day I'm
like
hustling.
literally maybe like 50 feet from the Escalade, cops show up, they grab her, they pull her back in. It was facility people, and then Peter Dinklage, still in the only car that she could have been going to, just like we gotta go, we gotta drive off. Where are the police? Why didn't you see the one car that she was heading towards and thinking that was her escape route? Why didn't you go that way? Huh? The one place you could have gone.
Puppies. Hi, Bella. Hi, Mama.
It's the same police that was in Birds of Prey. They did not care.
They didn't.
They did not care.
They were one-track minded.
Yeah, they weren't one-track minded, and they got her back. So then, after the breakout, what happened? We can.
It's all you. I'm making out with my dog.
That's gross. So after the breakout, it basically gets to the point where Peter Dinklage is upset. He's done, and he starts.
He's like, "How do we fucking?"
He just starts being very crazy. So first things first is
On the realist. Remember that song? Remember Iggy Azalea?
So first things first is he starts killing people. First person he kills is the doctor.
Yep.
The doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Then
he finds out she's part of the whole thing, and he's like,
So
"Fuck you." Hey.
He kills the doctor.
Yep.
And
then Rosalind and her partner see that he killed the doctor. She ended up dead, and they're like, "Oh fuck, we're probably next."
Yeah, we're probably next. So then, I think before that she gets strangled. That like the mom strangled him, right? Because she was able to.
And then that's when she went back to court and was like,
"We need to move her
look
to
how
another facility.
Look
yeah,
how crazy
look
this
how
woman
crazy
is.
it is.
She has to be in like isolation."
And then after that, she does research on the man. Okay, so
No,
first
on
off,
the mom, and then she finds out that person had died.
Yeah,
like years ago.
But okay, so let's. I'm gonna get into the scene. So right after the mom and the police show up to that scene, right? They go to the police station. They try to interview Dmitri or Petrov, whatever his name might be, and at the end, they're walking out. The police officers are just giving them information. And I'm like, are you police off? Like, where are you getting? Why would this police officer give you information?
Because Rosalind's partner used to date one of the police
Yeah,
officers.
and I'm just like, what is going on? No. But I'm just like, what is the fuck going on? Like, how are they getting all this information? So once they figure out that guy that was in holding was part of a Russian mob, they start investigating some more.
Yep.
And then they find out the mom is not real, and then they go talk to her, and then the mom strangles her.
Yep.
And then she gets kidnapped.
Rosalind.
Yeah, but no, that first and
the legal guardian.
Yeah, and then the no. So then the doctor got killed, and then they tried to take off. And when they took off, she got kidnapped, and
her partner gets almost murdered.
It was
with some gas.
Beaten to the inch of her life.
And then turned the stove on.
Oh
Like
my
someone
God.
wouldn't expect foul play. Like,
oh my God.
Like, girl, Like, you can't beat her up and then turn the gas on. Like, someone's going to realize, like, those two things don't match up.
Oh, my God.
Like, what'd she do, fall on a chair?
Oh, my.
Like, it made no sense.
Okay, so Peter Dinklage kidnaps her.
Yeah.
You talk about this thing, because I want to know how you feel about it. She was taken to a lot somewhere.
Yeah, like
tied
a construction
up.
lot.
Yeah.
They have, like, spotlights on her from, like, different cranes and cat
Of course, because why
tractors.
wouldn't they have access to that, right?
And she wakes up, you know, tied to a chair, and Peter Dinklage, like, approaches her, and he was like, "You've fucked with the wrong family. You're gonna let her go." And then she's basically like, "I'm not afraid to die. Like, no, like, I'm not going to do it." And then, you know, they have some witty banter back and forth. And then he leaves it up to his henchman. He's like, "Fucking kill her."
Wait, before you get there, but she was just like, I'm not too proud. I'm willing to be bought off. 10 million.
That's right.
Give me 10
Yeah,
million.
she doubled her initial offer.
And here's the thing: it's like 10 million. You'll still not get. You'll get the diamonds back. You get your mom, and I'll get paid off. It's a win-win. And he's like, "No, I'm just gonna kill you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, "I'll find a way."
Yeah. So.
And then, so he drives off, and then he leaves it to his henchman to kill her.
Dumbasses.
They,
every bad guy in a movie.
They basically chloroform her, put her in a car. No, they inject her with, I think, alcohol to make it seem like she was drunk driving. And then she's knocked out. They basically, like, tape her foot to the gas pedal, and then they just kind of drive her off. And she ends up waking up somehow right before she falls into this lake, and then she's like falling for probably like 3 to 4 minutes underwater, and somehow comes out of that alive.
She broke through the window,
Yep.
swam up, alive.
That was
somehow.
the part where I was into the movie up until that point, and I mean, I still liked the movie overall, but I was just like, this part pissed me off because that was very unlikely.
Yeah,
Like,
let her die.
or like, if obviously the point was we got to keep her alive, like, find a better way to make it seem plausible, because you put, like, it looked like milliliters of alcohol straight into her blood system, which I think would probably kill anyone, but she woke up sober and was able to escape the car. Like, it made no sense.
Dude, and then so she wandered back to a gas station, called.
The gas station scene was funny.
Yeah, he was just a woman
When she laid her face on the hot dog machine.
Yeah. I'm like, how does she still have money, first off, to
Right.
pay for anything? And then
Apple Pay.
fuck off. All right, called a cab. And she went back to
Her house.
Her house.
Well, they went to a random house. They moved at that point.
Yeah, because they were in a safe house.
To one of her other clients,
Yeah.
just random vacation homes.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Safe house that hasn't sold yet.
Yeah.
And went to find her girlfriend half beaten up but not dead.
And then the gas stove.
Oh my God! So she grabs her girlfriend, and just in the nick of time, they're pulling off, and that house explodes.
Yep.
Corny as fuck.
Corny as fuck.
Corny.
Both of them should have died, but didn't. That part was the worst part of the movie.
Yeah. Bullets in both of them.
Yeah.
Keep
Just
going.
kill them. And, like, bury them. Like, no one's ever going to find them. They disappeared.
Like a good bad guy should.
They disappeared.
Make it look like an accident. Yep. No, bullets.
Just kill them and bury them where no one's ever going to find them.
Fucking God, yeah. They would have ended this movie.
The Russian mafia, they don't know what to do in movies.
Okay. So then,
they both
all of
survive.
a sudden, they have an Ocean's 11 type kidnapping thought. The two women have a whole plan to kidnap Peter Dinklage, and it succeeds. So basically, they kidnap, drug him, leave him in the middle of the fucking woods, and they leave him naked with nothing. So then, when you find like a naked man in the middle of a woods, drugged and nothing,
because he had no identification on him, nothing like that,
and then
it ends up the court appoints a legal guardian.
And then
guess who that was?
Legal guardian, a woman named Judi Dench.
Rosalind Parks' character.
Rosalind Parks' character.
And he wakes up with, a tube down his throat in the hospital bed, and she shows up, and she's just like, did you know when they find someone with no identification, they appoint a legal guardian? And I'm your legal guardian.
Would you look at that?
And she's like, guess what I want?
$10 million.
I want to be on your. She's like, I want the money and all that. And then he's like, how about this? You don't get any of that, but you and I become partners. We will develop a fucking nationwide conglomerate
where you destroy old people.
Yeah, you will
money.
run the legal guardian enterprise of the United States.
And I'll fund it.
And I will fund it, and you will be so rich you won't know what to do. And she's like, how do I trust you? And he was like,
we can't,
but we are both driven by money.
Yeah,
money is how you trust me.
He started off as like, you're a rare species. Mm-hmm. It's like,
he's like, I hate you, you hate me, let's make this bread.
Yeah, I can respect that, because I hate you, you hate me, and we're making a podcast.
And he's like, but you also, he's like, but you also have to give me my mom back.
Yeah, and she was like, oh, yeah, I mean, we get that.
I figured.
Yeah, for sure.
I figured.
So then after that, they do a whole wrap-up scene of the mom getting back and then building a huge fucking conglomerate, and she's just getting richer and more famous.
She's on like the Forbes magazine thing.
And you're just furious.
And the whole time she's just like, I care about people.
Yeah.
I care a lot.
She's getting money after
Name
money.
Plug.
After money.
Mm-hmm.
And then she has an interview talking about everything that she's accomplished, how good of a person she is.
Yep.
And then you're just like,
fuck this.
What is the point of this movie?
He should have died in the lake.
You should have died 18 times before here. And then you tell us how it ends.
Remember homeboy that spat on her at the beginning of the movie? He shows up and he's like, my mom/grandma, whichever one it was, died, and I never got to see her again because of you. And then what? Pow, pow. Shot the guy. Pow, pow, pow.
Is that your Soldier Boy impression?
Yeah. From last episode. It's a recall. I'll put a frame.
No, not good.
Of the Soldier Boy reference?
Of us doing the Soldier. It's going to be a lot.
Okay.
I don't know if I can do it. I can do it.
Nope.
And I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Philippians 4:13.
Can you imagine?
Hey. All right.
And then he basically pops a cap in her ass. Well, one in her heart.
Yeah.
And then she bleeds out and dies.
Huh. And then
that's how it. And then her
ends.
lover is like crying over her, but she's so rich.
Yeah, she's so rich too. But you know what? And that's where the movie ends. And thank God.
She got hers.
Yeah.
I was pissed.
The whole time.
I honestly, and I loved Cersei just because she was like the ultimate villain. I haven't hated someone so much in like a film or a movie in a long time.
Because she used woman empowerment to do bad things.
That wasn't the reason.
Yeah, I mean,
she was just awful.
Yeah, she was.
Everyone in the movie was awful.
Yeah. Except Coming to America.
We're just gonna do that. That was but I think like overall I think it did its purpose of like everyone involved in this industry fucking sucks.
Yep.
You know, do good, you get good. Do bad, you get bad, no matter how rich you are. And don't trust a woman with a bob that smokes a vape pen. I think life lessons that that Netflix has taught us.
Yeah, I can agree. I can definitely agree.
And that was I Care a Lot. But like again, even though we described the whole movie scene by scene for you,
definitely
we cannot
definitely watch it.
We cannot tell you emphasize how frustrating this movie is to go scene by scene and watch it.
Go watch it.
It was really well done.
It was really well done.
Like you didn't really have anyone to cheer for, but at the same time you didn't not have anyone to cheer for. You're like, what the fuck is just happening? And this bitch sucks.
So it was like Malcolm and Marie, but with not any of the same plot or
just
same
white
thing.
people.
Yeah, just white people. Pretty much.
And in color.
Yeah. How many woos would you give it?
I Out of what? Wait, what's the woo
out of
scale?
5 woos, how many woos would you give it?
I liked it. I'd give it like 4.5.
Okay.
4.25. 4.25.
I'll give it 3.5.
I think I'd give it the only
She
reason
should've died
the
early.
only reason I didn't. I don't know if she necessarily had to die early. The only reason I wouldn't really give it like top tier was because both her and her partner's death didn't make any sense. Like non-death didn't make any. Like in both situations, you should have been dead.
They did the villain thing where it was be like, oh, well, at least he didn't tell like his master plan or something. But it's like, put a bullet,
and there was no like
bullet, dead.
And even when she was when he was monologuing, she like called him out on it.
Yeah,
which was funny.
Yeah.
It was a very dark comedy.
Yeah, very
sort of thing. But like the only thing I didn't like was them recovering from when they should have been murdered made 0 sense.
Zero.
Like there was no way they could have found a better way to try to kill them.
Agreed.
A few moments later.
So the other movie we are going to review, this is gonna look seamless.
Yeah, it's gonna look seamless,
it's gonna look really good. Guys, I fucked up.
Yeah.
And I will admit it. And that's just, as a white man, I have to do that.
What was the other movie we watched, Keith?
We watched Coming to America, and I don't know why I have to introduce it.
Because you're the white man.
This is your culture.
The movie was great.
I liked it too.
Coming to America, the sequel to Coming to America.
Yeah, the difference between T-O and T-W-O.
Oh my! No. It was T-O and then 2.
Yeah. How do you spell 2?
2.
Just 2 fingers.
Yeah, 2 lines.
Oh yeah, not
The
T-W-O.
Roman numeral.
Okay. Lies. It's no. The sequel of Coming to America.
All right.
Coming to America.
We won't go scene by scene.
No.
But we are going to talk about our favorite parts.
Okay.
My first favorite part was the whole thing. Because I love the movie.
I liked it too.
I loved it, and it was such a bad story. So, guys, for pure nostalgic reasons, I am very biased to a lot of movie franchises. First and foremost, when we did the Bad Boys, every Fast and the Furious is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Every Bad Boys movie, 11 out of 10. Bad Boys for Life 3, when it came out, 12 out of 10. It was perfect. Hit everything that I needed it to. Could it have been better? Yes.
No.
Yes.
It wasn't
but
good.
it was perfect. So, that means that, excuse me, this movie, Coming to America, I did not know what to expect. I wanted Eddie Murphy.
You got him.
Oh my God.
For
I wanted
an hour and 45 minutes.
I wanted all the old scenes kind of remastered, or that's what I was kind of expecting. I did not expect a whole new story. I wanted him to go to America for something and come back. I didn't know it was going to be a kid.
You would have been happy if they just made the first one 1080p.
Yeah, pretty much. I would have loved it. Okay, first scene that I love is the woman that was still on one foot barking. She is 60 years old, and they still had her on one foot barking.
Up until, what, like 10 minutes before the movie ended?
Yeah,
He's like, thanks for releasing her from her spell.
Gold. The callback, amazing.
Yeah.
The whole movie
I
had
appreciated
nothing
that.
but golden callbacks. And it's all I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, hey, you guys want to see this movie but 30 years later? Yep.
Like
That's what
Eddie
they
Murphy
did.
gained 20 pounds.
Yeah.
We can do that.
And then what's his co-star's name?
Arsenio Hall.
Arsenio Hall. Arsenio Hall still looks the same, but
Yeah.
he's 40.
He just had like a little bit of
40
crow's
years
feet
older. Yeah.
and like 4 more inches of gum.
Yes. And they still did all the old characters.
Yeah.
And then a new one.
To a lesser extent, though.
Yeah,
The preacher was only in what, one scene?
One scene.
I
think
like
he was
the
in-
I like the introduction of the shaman, Eddie Murphy playing like the old witch doctor.
No, that was Arsenio.
Oh, that was Arsenio.
Yeah,
You're right.
The gums. You could tell by
And
the
he
gums.
just was like licking the foreskin of like
Oh, God, yeah.
four generations of fucking
God,
foreskin.
It was so good. God, I hate it when someone that shall not be named said it was not funny or there was no funny parts, and I'm just like, what were you expecting?
Right.
They did what they could.
It needed to. I'll say, like, if I have a critique, it sided more with nostalgia than it did with coming up with new material.
Yep.
And so if you were looking for a movie with new material, I can see you not liking it.
Right.
But if you went in there just wanting the first Coming to America 2.0, you got it.
Yeah.
And so if that's what you were looking for and that's what you wanted out of the movie, then you would love it.
To be fair, if this was made 10 years later, it would have been great. The story, everyone would have loved it. Everyone would have been like, perfect. You guys could do no wrong. But since it was 30, I can expect people wanting more. But then again, this was made for old black people. If you didn't like it, you didn't fit the demographic it was made for.
Right.
So
That's
I'm
true.
just like, it was just.
So are
was
you an
perfect.
old black person?
I'm 85.
To your bones.
To my bones.
To
my
my
knees
bones.
hurt right now.
Dude, mine
But-
do too.
But no, I loved it. There was just so many good scenes. It was corniness all throughout.
Okay, so overall plot line was only a male can be an heir to the throne. Eddie Murphy's character has 3 daughters.
3.
And then you find out he has an illegitimate bastard son.
Yeah, just say bastard because he says it 29
A
times.
million times. And so that bastard is living in America, so he goes back to America to find his bastard son and have him take over the throne. With his bastard son comes the baby mama and Leslie Jones.
Big old Leslie Jones.
I haven't even asked you how did you feel about her perperformance and her character?
Leslie Jones played herself, and it was a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
She's funnier than the lines that they gave her, but she still played herself perfectly.
She did what she could do with the character, with I think like not outshining Eddie and Arsenio.
If they would have made it rated R, she would have been a best
It
character.
wasn't R?
No.
Oh, really?
No.
Interesting.
Yeah. If they made it rated R, it would have been the best movie. Like, if they
One
were
of my-
able to be explicit.
When they first introduced her, and they're in her apartment, she's like in her like nursing gear or whatever, and they're talking about her having like the illegitimate son, and then she was like, "Oh, I didn't know that was the father." And she's like, "I was a hoe back in the day." Am I right? And she's like fist bumping everyone.
And you're like, hey, mom,
That
mom,
cracked
mom.
me up.
Like, hey, don't be talking about that.
That cracked me up.
Yeah, it was funny, dude.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and I guess it's more like a culture thing. So with you, if you were expecting something, like, I just keep going back to it not being funny when it was just like, it worked for me.
Stop touching.
You stopped that.
I can hear it.
Good.
You took your headphones off, so you can't hear it.
I can hear it.
It's like the birds in the background.
Bitch. But okay, all right. So tell me a scene you did not like in the movie.
I first want to talk about the scene that I really enjoyed.
Okay, go ahead.
And that was the King funeral scene when he's like, "I'm not dead yet, but I want to be alive for my funeral." So,
Oh god.
so then they bring out not SWV. They bring
Vogue.
out En Vogue
Yep.
and Salt and Pepper.
And
then they do their little.
Was it Patti LaBelle or who was the
Yes.
third one?
Yes.
Okay.
Patty Pies.
Yeah, Pat.
No, it was Gladys Knight.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
yeah.
it was Gladys Knight.
Yeah.
And they all just do a performance for him and like just alter some of their lyrics to their famous songs to fit
Zamunda,
the situation.
Yeah.
As like, I just loved that part
Mm-hmm.
in particular. A scene that I didn't particularly like. I can't really say if I don't know if there's a particular scene. I wish they would have done more with the overall plot.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, like, it's nostalgic, but it was very much the same exact movie. I did appreciate like you were mentioning, like all the callbacks to the original. So when they brought out what was the twin sisters?
The rap group.
Yeah,
I can't
when they
remember.
came out at the end,
end.
and then obviously
My name is Mary, and thanks to
yeah, that whole part.
I love it.
When the bullshit R&B group came out, because everyone was like,
Sexual chocolate.
yeah,
Sensual chocolate.
when
Yeah,
they came out, and everyone's
I
like,
loved
whatever.
it. I could not stop smiling.
I loved the whole. I liked the whole whisker from the lion
That was so corny.
thing. It was corny, but it was
so
funny.
corny.
And then he just ended up just putting like meow mix on top of on top of the thing. I don't know. I don't know if there was necessarily a scene I didn't like. I just think like they could have done more, but stayed a little bit more conservative. And they're just like, we know these jokes will hit, especially because we know who's going to be watching this movie, and we'll just stay in that lane. And I think that's fair. That's fine.
So I'll tell you this. With the corniness for me, I was okay with almost all level of corny. The whole lion thing, they didn't need any of that.
No.
No. They could have kept all of that out of it, and it still would have been funny.
Mm.
And I felt that was probably like the worst scene for me, because I'm just like, I don't get the point of this.
Okay.
And then he was like, so there's a line right here, licking, and you think you can reach through and cut it without your hand coming back a nub? There's no way. No way. And
Fair.
I'm saying that's unrealistic. And I'm accepting that Zamunda is a city in Africa, and no other thing. That would be the one thing. It was just like, I didn't need that. It wasn't funny. And every time they try to do like a new age twist to something old school, I'm like, I don't care.
Like
Leave it old.
like his clothes being on fleek.
Yeah, on fleek or anything. Like I can get that. I can get that they're trying to be funny.
Right.
But then they're like, oh, I'm not the Prince of
Like
Zamunda. I'm the Prince of Queens.
The out of touch parent.
Yeah, the out of touch parent joke is overdone.
Mm-hmm.
And then every time they tried to do like, oh no, this is going to be a New York twist on something African, I'm like, okay, get to the next thing. This is not funny.
And then so then
Also, that interview scene in the beginning is like, no, that was unnecessary.
the interview scene.
Where the son was interviewing with the white guy who happened to be the sons of the two guys from Trading Spaces.
Oh.
Or he's the great grandson of the two guys or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, ugh.
How did you feel? So obviously in the first movie, like Eddie and Arsenio played like half the characters.
Yep.
And then in this movie, they reprised some of the popular ones, like in the barbershop scene, you had like the old Jewish dude and all the different, barbershop hairstylists or whatever. But then we saw the introduction of a lot of new black faces into.
Racist.
Well, I mean,
How you say it, it's racist.
How are they?
When I
not?
say it, it's okay.
Oh, okay. So we saw Wesley Snipes. He was like the conflict, I guess you
General
would say.
Izzy.
And then his son was Rotimi?
Yeah,
and then you had his daughter, which was Tiana Taylor.
Tiana Aggressive Taylor.
He tried to hook up Rotimi with one of Eddie Murphy's daughters, and then he tried to hook up Tiana Taylor with his bastard son. Tiana looked great.
Yeah.
She looked so good. And then, but like, I guess that part was annoying of how like she, in her character, was exactly like
the woman character from the
barking
80s.
dog.
Yeah,
like
that was dumb.
exactly the same. I was like,
dumb.
we could have just done something different.
Yeah.
Like she could have just been like, oh, I just want to fuck your brains out.
Right.
Like just like
But
an over sexualized person.
I would
maybe.
have loved that as well. But also, another thing I didn't like. So when he was falling in love with that girl that was his barber, I'm like, you don't fall in love that quick. You just gonna run off and get married?
But they like the same movies.
Oh, fucking stupid. I'm like, I want a woman who has passion, who wants to open her own business. I like whatever you like. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah. So I guess, I don't know. There were some parts where it's like, I was cool with it's interesting. I was cool with reused jokes.
Yeah.
I wasn't as cool with reused plotline.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I'm cool with you reusing a joke that you told in the original, but if you try to make the plot line the same, then that's annoying.
How did you like Louis Anderson coming back? Jesus. And you still work at Whack-Donald's or McDonald's?
McDonald's?
Whatever, bro.
Mick, I think, instead of Mac.
Yeah.
McDonald's, where they put the
They got the golden
treats,
arcs. We
they-
got the golden arches.
where they put the treats at the bottom of the McFlurby, where the McFlurry has it at the top.
It's not even the same. God, yeah, that shit was great.
Yeah.
See?
And, like, even Leslie Jones, when she's in the bath and, like, you knew
Yeah.
someone was going to pop out of the water
She's
at
getting
the
that
end.
sloppy top.
Yeah, yeah. And she's like, yeah, just go down there and actually clean it one more time.
Just a little bit, Mom.
Yeah, remember. Yeah,
A
no.
little bit, Mom. But yeah.
I think overall it was great. It was funny. It was nostalgic.
Yeah.
And I don't think they were. I don't know if necessarily they were trying to be groundbreaking. Just give everyone 2 more hours of the same thing that they experienced 30 years ago.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Because when you try to get groundbreaking, it's hit and miss because you're trying to get a new audience in,
Right.
which may or may not. This is not a franchise. They just wanted a sequel to kind of wrap up the story, and they did that.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. I would agree with you on that. So that was Coming to America.
Yeah, and it was great.
Yeah.
But I think that wraps it up.
It does, and I have to pee so bad.
All right.
I've been fidgeting like crazy.
Yeah, I can tell. You made my mic fall out, so
I'm
I was
sorry.
playing with my mic. So that's it, and I hope you guys liked the episode.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.